What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Metroid Samus Returns. This game looks absolutely incredible. I'm extremely hyped for it because I actually grew up with the original Metroid 2, the game that this is a remake of. This new reimagining of it really looks like a cool combination of retro level design and cool modern gameplay mechanics, so obviously I'm extremely excited to go back into this world that I already grew up with, but I'm a bit on the fence about the Amiibo support. Personally, I think that Nintendo is taking Amiibos way too far lately. Every time I try and investigate what they're going to be doing with this next, it's always something that's just appalling. Like for this, I was really going into the forums and trying to read what exactly will happen if I manage to pre-order this extremely rare Metroid Amiibo, and what it does do is a bit much. I found out that if you have the Amiibos, you can swipe over a particular one and it'll give you more energy. Swipe one and it'll show you where all enemies are on the map. That is some pretty heavy-duty buffs. But on top of that, there is an entire separate mode that only exists if you have an Amiibo. This is going way too far. Personally, I kind of like when Amiibos first came out. I never really owned a couple. I've always owned a couple, but never a ton. I liked when they just did small stuff, like if you wave it over the sensor, you get an extra costume for your driver in Mario Kart, or if you use it in Breath of the Wild, you get a random loot chest. In my head, it does make sense to have a tiny reward for a tiny task. You manage to track down one of these cool little things, they're Nintendo branded, it's got a sensor inside. I understand wanting to reward people. You know, something random and cool. A little buff to make you feel encouraged to find and gather these. But most games seem to be taking it way too far. Look back at just a couple months ago with the release of Fire Emblem Echoes Shadow of Valencia. This had a ton of things you could do with Amiibo. By waving your characters over a sensor, you could automatically get extra soldiers dropped into the battlefield while you're fighting a boss or just in random encounters. This could make even the most challenging tasks a lot easier. Basically, if you have these real-life toys that are 13 to 20 bucks a piece, you're buying easy mode. But it gets so much worse. There were some Amiibos that would actually unlock special exclusive dungeons. Yes, that's right. Nintendo thinks that it's a good idea to take an entire part of their development cycle and create stuff that is only accessible for those who buy Amiibo. It's at this point that I now officially have a problem. Tiny perks, not a big deal. A couple costumes, I'm fine with that. But me, as a fan of Metroid, right now I'm playing through this remake, Samus Returns, and it's so cool, but it's achingly annoying me in the back of my head, the fact that there is an area that I am never going to get to go to. The fact that there is an entire game mode that I can't access, no matter how good I am, no matter how many difficulties I conquer. Something that gamers used to absolutely rally against and despise is on-disc DLC. The concept that you'd buy a game and then pay an additional price to get what you've already purchased. Something that did this in a really bad way was Tekken vs. Street Fighter. This was really bad. They locked out a huge part of the roster and you actually had to buy extra characters. Characters that were already on the disc. They were already balanced, they were already designed, they were already developed. You were just being milked for extra money. And I don't know why, but it seems like Nintendo is trying to do that too. They know that super diehard fans like me, people who love Samus, are going to want the full experience. We're going to be able to really want to dig in and find every single secret nook and cranny to prove to ourselves that we're still the king of outer space. But now I have to find a very rare toy. The Metroid action figures are sold out everywhere. If I really want the full experience of this game, I'm going to have to buy it from a scalper or sit outside a freaking Toys R Us at 6 a.m. if I want this stupid little brain to get this stupid little bonus. Why are you punishing me? You know, if it was even in the eShop and I could buy it that way, I'd almost feel a little bit more okay with it, because then at least everything is contained in the cartridge. What I've bought is complete. I am now able to access everything I want on my adventure. But they want to cut it up into these little pieces and section it off in an effort to make us go on these real-life quests in order to get things in our game. It seems like it's just gone way too far, way too fast. I think that Nintendo needs to reel things back. They're experimenting with downloadable content, and I fully understand that. They're not exactly used to what you should release and how you should release it. This is probably just an early experiment, but Nintendo, I know you watch my videos, so just take this to heart. Fans want to enjoy our own games. When you buy a game, there's a fun and a ceremony to unwrapping the package, putting it in, and figuring out the mysteries, beating it without any help, not looking at guides, not checking out YouTube videos, just figuring things out. And when I know that I can just swipe an amiibo like this and instantly get a nice little bonus, you're robbing some of the fun from us. There is an effort, a joy, a pleasure in the challenge of beating something with no help. And knowing that there's actually these toys that can make the adventure a hell of a lot smoother can kind of kill the experience for those of us who want the elite challenge. Obviously, I consider myself a very small demographic. A lot of people don't really have a problem with this, but it's really starting to irk me personally that if I want to be the king of Metroid, I'm going to have to sit outside a crappy store instead of just being able to sit down with my game like I should be able to. What do you think of it? Are you okay with this rather strange business practice, or do you think that this is just Nintendo's own innovation in effort? But this has just been my thoughts on the whole situation. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Hey, I want to thank you guys. I've gotten over 1 million views in the last 30 days, which is just brain-meltingly enormous. So thank you everybody who's been sharing this stuff like crazy. I never could have imagined 1 million views in a month. So thank you for what you do. Dang. Alright, I'm gonna go punch an amiibo. Oh, hey. I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.